This is the LTA 350 telecash recycler. We're going to take some time and go through the outside, show some transactions, talk about the teller experience, and then we'll go into the inside and show you what it looks like. One of the nice things we've built into this machine is an 8-inch user interface. It's full color, touchscreen, lots of information available to your tellers. Error recovery. We have how-to videos and tutorials built right into this. Detailed on the inventory of each of the cassettes, what's dispensable, what might be in the divert bin. Quick bill count. Right from the touchscreen, we can use this as a tabletop currency counter for mixed bill counting, for strapping and batching, and also an administrative login. The LTA 350 dispenses at 12 notes per second. It reads the serial number of every note as it's dispensing in images front and back in high resolution, storing those images. We can have 300 notes at a time dispensed through the TCR. This is your cash entrance, continuous feed. You can start with 600 notes and just add to the feeder as needed. It's going to read the denomination and put the money in the appropriate cassette. You do not need to sort the money before feeding into the TCR. We're also imaging the front and back of every note, reading the serial numbers and storing inventory by serial number. On inventory load or deposits, any folded notes, taped notes, or tone notes will end up in the output pocket. They can be unfolded and fed back through. The reason the machine does this is to prevent jams further down into the feed path. Our machine, the LTA 350, is unique in that we're going to actually reject any suspect notes to a separate pocket to isolate them and flag them so that your staff can do their due diligence. Once a telecash recycler fills up, it's no longer doing its job. We've added that operational cassette that is built within the machine so we can overflow to that and we can handle unexpected increases in deposits. Or if a shipment comes in and you want to feed it into the TCR, if the 20s fills up, if the 1s fill up, they'll go right into overflow. Later on, you can sign in as a manager, you can send that money from overflow back into inventory. By automating the cash counting, the tellers can be confident that when they go to close out the end of the day, their draw is going to be in balance. It's going to be a 2-minute process versus a 15-minute process. Every transaction is documented. It takes away the stress of balancing. Although we're using branchware to demonstrate the features of the LTA 350, the LTA 350 integrates with all teller systems. When the tellers sign into work, they would also sign into branchware. If they're doing a deposit, this window would come up. The light on the telecash recycler would point to the teller, and the teller can feed the deposit into the recycler. Any taped or torn notes could be entered into the manual field because they will end up in the teller cash drawer. Most of the applications that you can use to drive the TCR will allow for vault buys and vault sells. In this particular application, when we hit vault buy, it will bring on a user sign-on, so other tellers besides the teller working from this station can come over, authenticate, and buy cash from the TCR. They can also sell cash back to the TCR. Bill exchange is a function that can be very useful. Feed in a $100 bill, dispense it back out however you'd like. Inventory management is a function that's only available to head tellers, managers, supervisors in the system. And we can load inventory into the TCR by feeding it into the cash entrance, which would be through the CAM, or by using the operational cassette. We are going to go into that later on. The LTA 350 can self-audit. It's an unattended self-audit. Nothing's going to leave the TCR during the audit. We can select which cassettes we want to audit, or we can select the entire machine. What's happening is each of the cassettes is going to count into the operational cassette, and then it's going to count back. And then it'll move on to the next cassette. When it's complete, you'll have a report that'll show you the expected amount in each cassette, the actual amount in each cassette, and any adjustments. So let's open up the lower unit. First we have the exterior door. Now we're looking at the vault door. This is a CABA 252 lock. It's standard. This can be set up for dual control, time delay. I've already entered the combination. First thing we're looking at is a green button, and the operational cassette is the only cassette. So we can take the cassette to the back room where the vault is, load that cassette up, and now you're carrying a locked cassette through the branch, drop it into the recycler, close the door, and add inventory from that operational cassette. Very secure. It's much faster than carrying bundles of notes through the branch, ripping the bands, feeding them in slowly into the cash recycler. So to engage the track and access the rest of the cassettes requires another key. So all the cassettes are tamper-proof smart cassettes. We have 4 full cassettes. Each will hold about 2,850 notes. Street quality will be closer to 2,000. And we have the versatile cassette, which is a split cassette. It has 2 compartments holding 1,200 and 800 notes. Right now we have this with 10s and 50s. The machine supports 6 denominations, and we can put any denomination in any cassette. If a cassette is opened, the machine will prompt for an audit. And the cassettes that were opened will have an exclamation mark next to them. The status would also be red. This just says that the machine is questioning the inventory of that cassette. The cassette was opened, so this is now a manipulated status. We can still dispense 1s, we can take 1s in deposit, we can still dispense 5s. We can take 5s in deposit, but a telesupervisor or branch manager will want to audit these cassettes before the close of business. We can also take the cassettes and put them in different locations, and the recycler will know which cassettes hold which denomination. All the sorting happens in the upper unit. Everything is labeled, very easy to follow. Here you can see the slots that go directly to the cassettes. Everything green can be touched. We have lots of documentation and labeling on this product. We also have videos built right into the touchscreen that will guide your tellers through easily reconciling the error. The feed path is very easy to follow. Anywhere a note can go, you can get to clear an error. In addition, for servicing, everything is modular, so each of these sections can be replaced in its entirety. Having a modular machine will shorten repair times and increase uptime of the product. It looks intimidating, but it really is quite simple. Thank you for joining us on this tour of the LTA 350 Telecash Recycler. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to turn it back to my colleague.